Yeah, give me just 1 minute. Okay, now it should be good. Am I audible?
Yes. Yes, Jayakumar. Yeah, I had a question. This one word I did not write. In this, it says Svaatmaavyatirikta. So that I just wanted to get an explanation of that. And then the second question I have, go ahead, and then we can put the second.
Yeah, Svaatmaavyatirikta. So Svaatmaavyatirikta, right? That is what the word is there. And
Right.
so Vyatirikta means different from. Avyatirik means not different from, not separate from. Swatma Avyatiriktam means not separate from oneself.
Okay. So here that means they are not separate from the earth.
Correct? Correct?
The plants are not separate.
Yeah, absolutely.
Got it. And yeah, that's helpful. Thank you. Then the second question I have is in the next sentence from the Bhashyam. You have Tata Vilakshanam Salakshanam Cha. You did not explain that in detail.
I forgot to explain that, didn't I?
No problem. Thank you, Jayakumar.
Right. So, we know what Vilakshanam is. I mentioned Vilakshanam and Salakshanam, but in that context, I think I did not explain. So here it is. You can guess. I think some of you would have guessed already, right? So the vilakshanani, the hair is jadam, not expressing the consciousness like the human being expresses consciousness. So the hair is vilakshanam to the product hair is vilakshanam to karanam, which is the purusha, which is conscious. So hair is jadam, purusha is achetanam, chetanam, jadam, opposite vilakshanam. But Oshadayaha is conscious and Prithvi is also conscious, and therefore it is Salakshanam. Then Urnanabhih, the web is Jadam and spider is Chetanam. It is Vilakshanam. So it is Salakshanam, Vilakshanam. These examples cover both types. That's what he's saying.
Thank you, Jayakumar.
Right, and so the idea is when we say Prithvi is Chetanam, life cannot come out of non-life. That's the idea.
Thank you.
But the other way is possible. Non-life can come out of life.
Other way it is possible. That's what Shankara is saying. Good examples.
Yeah, and actually, Jayakumar, this is probably the first instance in history where a culture has recognized the earth as a living entity. I heard that science recognized this as this, they call it ecosystem and words like that, right? There's also another word, I forget that actual word that science uses. That's only about 100 years old, that concept.
Okay.
I see. That this is a living planet, that kind of concept. There's actual technical word for it, scientific word for it.
Biosphere, biome, or something like that.
Biome, correct. BIOME. Thank you.
Okay, biome, biosphere. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so that bio means life. So there is, to what extent they stretch that bio into the earth, we have to see. But they have recognized there is life is possible here, right?
So this concept, the biome concept, is only about 100 years old in science, but our culture recognizes, back in the Vedic times. or when
Very
the
good.
Vedas were intuited by the rishis.
So here Prithvi and the Aushadayaha both are considered Chetan. Both are considered Chetana.
Correct. 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 Thank you. Hemavati, go ahead.
But Urnanabhih is also Urnanabhah also. Yeah, there is another. Urnanabhah is also there.
Yeah, I don't know. It may be there. And
what is the, how do you decline that Samaasa? How does it become? I mean,
Urnaha nabhav yasya saha.
Yes. Okay.
Nabhav yasya saha.
Okay.
Saptami. Saptami bahuvri.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Ramuji.
In the context of why the Upanishad is giving so many examples, I have heard that the one, as you said, that Salakshanam, vilakshanam, the one example may not cover all aspects of it. So the different examples are given to explain it. I have heard it from a teacher. So
Yeah.
to avoid the misunderstanding, they give different examples from different works so that it covers all the Visvanta.
Correct. Correct, you're right. Because there is no one perfect example, One perfect example would be good.
You cannot extend the example infinitely. It applies to one aspect.
Correct. Correct. Ramuji, thank you. Yeah, Dheeraj Madan.
Namaste again, Guruji. So I have a few questions. So firstly, like when we say so like in Advaita, when they explain this creation, so first they said that from Brahman we got avidya, maya, and avidya in samashti roop associated with that Brahman is Ishvara, and then Ishvara created this. So here like all that is implied when we say that Brahman created the world out of itself. Like,
Correct. Correct.
because here
Correct.
they haven't given the detailed thing in Upanishad.
Correct. Correct. You're right. Next is going to come. Tapasa chiyate Brahma also will come. The next mantra or something is shortly is coming up. Tapasa chiyate Brahma. Then how that creation happened? Little bit insight Upanishad is going to give. Let's see what the Upanishad says.
But like one way, like to understand it, like can we understand it through the dream example again? Because the dreamer and all the objects in the dream, they are created by the same mind and they are part of that same mind. So this is something like in the same consciousness, everything is appearing and it's not different from it in some sense.
Correct. No, dream example is a very good example to show that non-separation between the material and the creator. Yeah, Abhinna Nimitta Upadaana Kaaranam. Dream is a very good example. In fact, Swami Paravidyanandaji would tell in our classes, occasionally he will say, a person who has never dreamt may find it difficult to understand Vedanta. Something like that. I mean, Vince dream is such a great example that that brings us into Vedanta. Something like that.
And like also once we like get into that Maya, then or basically once we get in through that creation through Maya, that first there is Maya, and then along with Maya there is Ishvara, Brahman and Maya together, and then we have the rest of the creation. So there, whom will we attribute like the Nimitt part and the Upadana part? Like the Upadana part will be like due to Maya only because the material is now avidya, right? So due to which the world is appearing, like akshep and vikshep shakti.
Correct. So what is the question again?
Like what my question was that once we bring in the notion of Maya, then the Upadaana Kaaranam, that will be Maya itself.
Correct. Upadaana Kaaranam is Maya.
But Maya is coming from Brahman again, so indirectly it will fall back to Brahman.
Correct. In Upadaana Kaaranam, which is not different from the Nimitta Kaaranam.
Hmm.
Exactly like the spider web example. Need that
So,
Karanam, but it's coming from the same Brahma, same Akshara. Like that. That's the idea.
and since you also briefly mentioned the other philosophies, other darshanas, so in Sankhya, Yoga, Nyaya, Vaisheshik, so in all of these, like the Prakriti is separate from the beginning itself, right? There is no like the Prakriti is always the Upadana Kaaranam from the beginning itself. And Nimit, what will be the Nimit in other philosophies? Like,
Nimitta, they will say Ishvara. Ishvara is the Nimitta Karanam.
and
Purusha. They'll say Purusha. They'll say Purusha. They don't use the word Ishvara.
hmm,
Maybe there in yoga and all it is there. Ishvara, Anishvara and all are there. Anishvara Sankhya, Ishvara Sankhya they have. But Purusha, they use the word Purusha.
Purusha is same as the Sakshi here, right? Witness.
But I mean, that's what we say. So Purusha and Pradhana. Purusha and Prakriti. Those are the two there.
Okay. Okay, so there they are will Nimitta Karana is Purusha or Ishvara. Like for example, yoga will admit Ishvara and Upadhan is the Jada Prakriti.
Correct. Correct.
Okay. Okay. And and when we talked about Prithivyam Aushadaya, so you are saying that this is Salakshanam because Prithvi and Aushadhi both are both are being considered Chetana. So like are all Panch Mahabhut they are considered Chetana in this order of creation?
Right. If it were not Chetanam, then we would not be Chetanam.
Hmm. No, but the Chetana we are getting is directly from Brahman, right? Not from Panch Mahabhutas are only giving the Sthul, Sukshma, and Karan Sharira.
Right.
Or
Right.
maybe no,
So,
sorry. Sthul Sharira. The Sthul Mahabhut will give, Panchikrit Mahabhut will give Sthula Sharira, and Sukshma Bhut will give the, uh, mm, mm,
Manas,
Manas.
etc.
Yeah. Yeah.
Manas and Indriyani, Jnanendriyani.
Jnanendriyani.
So Brahman is there everywhere.
Hmm.
Okay. So, what differentiates a non-living thing from a living thing? Okay, Sukshma Shariram, we say. Sukshma Shariram. Okay. Now, Sukshma Shariram is also Pancha Mahabhuta Kritam. Okay.
Hmm.
Sthula Shariram also is Pancha Mahabhuta Kritam.
Hmm.
And Brahman is there in the non-living and in the living also. In concrete also Brahman is there. In here in the Purusha also Brahman is there. Okay. So that Sukshma Shariram is also Pancha Mahabhuta is what makes the difference between the two. What is the difference? Difference is that not Brahman is not there here, Brahman is there here, not there. Like that we can't say. Just the Sukshma Sharira makes the difference.
Sukshma Sharira can reflect that Brahman. Other objects
Correct.
which lack that Sukshma Sharira do not have capacity to reflect.
Correct. 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 Reflect or manifest. So, reflect, you can use the word reflect. Many people use the word reflect.
Hmm.
The problem with the reflection is what? What is the problem with reflection? You suppose mirror, I said mirror reflects light. Suppose I say that. Hey, light is different, mirror is different. They're two independent things. So then if you say mind reflects consciousness, if I say,
Hmm.
then there is a risk. There is a risk that somebody will assume mind is separate and consciousness is reflecting on the mind, and therefore mind becomes expresses itself like nothing else. Like that. Loosely we say reflects. Yeah, it has that capacity
Hmm.
to do things that nothing else can do.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And since you also gave this pralaya thing that when that spider takes back the web, so that is something like pralaya. But so like I was thinking like so whenever this pralaya happens, then Ishvara remains or Ishvara also gets absorbed back into Brahman or
Right, right.
Avyakt is
See,
always there, na? Even at the time of pralaya, that beach Karan is still there, na?
so therefore, they just you brought Avyakta up. So does Maya ever get resolved? Okay, that question we can ask. So it's called Prakrita Pralaya. Prakrita Pralaya means what? A Pralaya when Maya herself disappears.
Hmm.
We say it's a theoretical idea. It really doesn't happen. It cannot happen. It cannot
Okay.
happen. Maya, Avyaktam is always there. Avyaktam cannot be taken away. If you take away Avyaktam, then you are violating law of conservation of mass, law of conservation of energy. Every law is getting violated.
Hmm.
Because from nothing, you cannot produce anything.
Hmm.
And so that potential, Maya is potential basically. Potential creation. Creation potential has to be there. So Maya can never go, and therefore Ishvara is never going to get resolved.
Hmm.
Maya and Ishvara will always be there. Maybe they'll say, okay, let's go back and relax for a while. After so many trillions of years, we've been busy, and so they may have some quiet time for some.
And all the so basically like in other like Dvaita and all, they talk about Jivatma. So they say that Jivatma will reside with that Ishvara at the time of Pralaya, na? Like the ones who haven't yet gotten the moksha. Hmm.
Correct. Now, so what do they Jiva? Okay, what do they? How do they express pralaya? Tell me again. What is your
No,
understanding?
I also don't know properly, but maybe
Okay.
I heard from somewhere or it's something I recollect. So they says that, or maybe I think they don't reside, but maybe Ishvara keeps track of their karma in a potential stage, and when the creation restarts, then they again have to start from those same sanskara, same karma. Uh,
Because for them, this heaven and all is eternal, and so what happens to heaven during pralaya?
hmm,
Ooh, that's a tough question. I mean, how are they going to answer that?
hmm,
If heaven, nothing happens to heaven. All God and all of us will be in heaven with God. Okay, and
hmm.
eternally we will be there. Then pralaya is for whom? For all these sad, with these unlucky people who are surrounding us? Is that what pralaya is for, or what? I don't know. I'd like to know what pralaya, how they define pralaya and all. They must have a way of defining. So I'd like to know what that is.
Like in our thing, like in Advaita, so pralaya, like suppose if someone has gotten the moksha, then even after the pralaya, if everything is recreated, they are still in moksha. They won't have to undergo creation again, right?
They means
Uh, okay, the ones who have achieved moksha.
yeah. So for them, karna sharira itself is not there. And
Hmm.
so karna sharira is gone, no longer there. So there is no identity at all. There's no longer an identity to call they. There is no they left to call. Yeah,
I see.
yeah. That's the idea.
See.
In this discussion, I have a doubt. What did you mean, Dheeraj, by mentioning the Panchabhutas in the subtle body, the Sukshma Sharira? Guruji, maybe you can help. There was confusion there because the Panchabhutas were associated with the Sthula Sharira, but you
Yes,
mentioned in the
Panchikrit,
Sukshma.
Panchikrit. Maybe Guruji will be able to tell.
Yeah. So Premaji,
Mm,
in Tattvabodha, we studied this, and it's very popular, which is that how this creation has come about. And so tasmadva etasmad atmanaha akasha sambhutah. From atma, Akasha, the subtlest element is Akasha. And so Akasha has come about, and that's the Sukshma Akasha. And then from Sukshma Akasha, you got Sukshma Vayu, which has two attributes. This has only Shabda. This will have Shabda and Sparsha. Touch also will be there. Still, you got to have that Rupa, Nama Rupa will have to come, and etc. This will come. Then these are all Sukshma Bhutani, which will then create all the Sukshma Prapancha, the Indriyas and mind. They're all Sukshma.
Mhm.
But Stula will come much later. Stula means gross, physical, gross. And so then there is a process of grossification. He talks about, he mentioned Panchikaranam. That process is called Panchikaranam. So from the Sukshmam, you get Stula. Yeah. Like that. That is the idea he was talking about. So what we are saying is everything is Panchabhuta. Panchabhuta is there everywhere. Everywhere. And so we say Brahman is there everywhere. And in the form of Panchabhuta, Brahman is there everywhere.
They
So,
say, no, yet Brahmande, tad Pindande. There is a.
Right.
then
Right.
what is the Shuddha Tattva and Mishra Tattva? Something is mentioned that the Shuddha Akasha Shuddha, and then there is Mishra Tattva. There is some confusion there also.
No, it's not confusion. Akasha is there, Vayu is there, it's all Shuddha. Shuddha Akasha.
Okay.
Okay. But then, now if you mix half of Akasha with 1/4 of Vayu and 1/4 of Agni and 1/4 of this one, Apaha and 1/4 of Prithvi, then what will you get?
Mishra.
You will get Mishra Akasha. That is called Stula Akasha.
Hmm.
Sukshma Akasha has become Stula Akasha by doing this Mishra.
Okay.
Correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how it is. Yeah, Mahesh, go ahead.
Namaste, Jayakumarji. In this, what is the Nimittaantara means what?
Nimittaantara, very good. So that's a technical word in usage in Sanskrit. This antaram means other than. When you suffix antaram to any word, it means other than. Other than whatever this word means. This word means Nimitta Kaaranam, a cause. Let's say cause. Cause is enough in this case. Nimitta means cause. Without an expectation of another cause. Sorry, did I say other than? No, it is other. I should have said other than. Other. Nimittaantara means another nimittam. That is the meaning.
I'm sorry, what?
Another nimittam. Another nimittam. Another cause. Another cause. So another person came. Purushantaram came. Another person joined us. Okay, another person joined us. Janmantaram, another janma. I need another janma to exhaust my karma. Or I need another janma to study all the books that are stacked in my table. Janmantaram. Like that. That is the meaning of antara.
Yeah. Janmantaram comes in many some of our rituals and all comes.
Janma Janmantare, they say.
So that is Nimittaantara and then Anapekshat, right? Mean without depending on another cause. That both put together.
Correct.
And we said samutpadyade, samyak utpadyade, but here it means manifest.
Yeah, it means manifest. Correct. It is not in the
Not like well created, not like well created or well produced. It is manifest. Is that?
It is manifest because it is not separate from the Nimitta Kaaranam and Upadaana Kaaranam.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Ramuji.
Regarding our today, I was just started listening the 34th Sutra. which is just wrote yesterday night. There, Swami Paramarthananda, regarding 112 of Brahma Sutra, he is discussing all this what you are discussing today.
Oh,
I have not listened it fully, but he is discussing all the modern science, the other darshanas, how he is refuting and all these things. He is giving it. In 33 also he gave such that. He is concluding that. He is dealing with that. In 112 Sutra.
okay. 112 comes.
33
Right.
and 34. 34 I have not listened yet. I just listened 10 minutes. So I just thought of mentioning.
Yeah, so if the recording is still there on the website, you let us send me the link.
This is loaded only yesterday night. 33 is there, 34 is there for another 15 days.
Yeah, no problem. And if you can send that link to the group.
Yeah.
So maybe Dheeraj and others might also.
I was just writing the this thing.
Transcription, yeah.
Transcription I cannot send, but I have not yet done. But transcription, yes, not to give. But I just send the link.
Yeah, please do. Please do. Thank you. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Dhanvantaraye Amrita Kalasha Hastaya Sarvamaya Vinashanaya Trailokyanataya Shri Mahavishnave Namaha.